Yes. Good afternoon, students. So this is your first lecture of HVDC transmission, right? I will take two subjects. I had already told it to you during this semester. One is the non-conventional energy sources, and second is this HVDC transmission, right? So we had already taken one lecture for non-conventional energy sources. This is first lecture of HVDC, right? So in this lecture, we will just consider, or basically we will discuss in brief what is the syllabus for HVDC transmission, and then after some brief comparison of the AC and DC transmission line, and then after that applications of the DC transmission line, right? So first of all, syllabus objective of this lecture to give you introduction of the syllabus. Then we will discuss application of the HVDC, types of transmission line, comparison of AC and DC transmission, disadvantages of the DC transmission, then advantages in DC transmission, and then various HVDC transmission in India. Right. Before starting, I just want to discuss some basic detail regarding the HVDC transmission line. So whenever we are just saying that HVDC, that means DC is only transmitted, right? DC is only transmitted, production is into the form of then at the end distribution is again into the form of AC only, right? So what will happen at the start, we will generate some AC voltage, right? That will be generally 11.6 kV. Then after that, that 11.6 kV is converted into DC. It may be step up or may not be step up, but before transmission, it must be converted into DC. So here, this AC to DC conversion is with the help of rectifier. AC to DC conversion is with the help of rectifier. Fine. So rectifier is, in this case, this is known as converter station 1. So converter station 1 is a rectifier, right? Then this DC will be transmitted from the generating station to the destination. This destination is generally a substation, right? Now, at the generating station, again that DC is converted into AC. At the generating station, that DC is again converted into AC with the help of this inverter, right? Now, in this case, inverter is known as converter station 2, right? Inverter is known as converter station 2. So that means whether that will be a rectifier or that will be a inverter. Rectifier or inverter, both are known as converter station, right? Either it will be a rectifier or it will be a inverter. Both of that are in general known as inverter, and both of that are made up of semiconductor devices, whether that will be some diode or some transistor or some thyristor. That means it both means rectifier and inverter. Rectifier convert AC into DC, inverter convert DC into AC. Both, hello, is it audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, audible, sir.
So both rectifier and inverter both are made up of semiconductor devices, right? Both are made up of semiconductor devices, and both of that are known as converter stations. Rectifier is known as converter station 1 and inverter is known as converter station 2. So converter may be considered as common name for any of the semiconductor device, right? Converter station 1 means rectifier and converter station 2 is inverter. Rectifier convert AC into DC and inverter convert DC into AC, right? So in this lecture, we will discuss introduction to the syllabus. Then after that, application of the HVDC, types of transmission, comparison between the AC and DC transmission, disadvantages of the DC transmission, advantages of the DC transmission, and then at the end we will just find various HVDC transmission lines in India, right? So one thing more, this HVDC transmission line is only applied across long distance transmission line. Long distance, or you may say that ultra long distance. If long distance is the word available, this will be long distance. Otherwise, it will be ultra long. That means if the line is more than 500 kilometer, then we will prefer to use HVDC transmission. for more than 500 kilometers, right? So two things till now I have discussed. One is converter stations. Converter station is whether that will be a rectifier or that will be a inverter. Rectifier convert AC into DC, inverter convert DC into AC. Both of that are semiconductor devices. Both of that are semiconductor devices, right? Then after that, this is the brief about the syllabus. Now this HVDC is divided into this one direct current power transmission technology, analysis of the high direct current part, converters and HVDC system. Part 4, right? Then after that, smoothing reactors. In the same part 4, we will also consider modeling of the AC and DC system, modeling and designing. In addition to this, converter fault and protection, smoothing reactor, and DC line, we will also study modeling of the AC/DC system. Power. In this, compare in part 1, we will just come HVDC station. Then we will also study thermistor valve, and then
Hello, sir, you are not audible.
hello,
Hello, sir, you are not audible.
is it audible?
Now it is audible, sir. First it was not audible.
For how much time?
Sir, when you were telling syllabus, sir, part 4, it was not audible.
Okay, okay. So in part 4, we are having 3 chapters. In part 4,
Hello, sir, still you are not audible, sir.
just a minute. In part 4, there are 3 chapters. One is converter fault and protection. Second is smoothing reactor and DC line. And third is component model for analysis of AC/DC system. Right. So we will discuss one by one. In part 1, that means DC power transmission technology, we will compare AC and DC transmission. Then after that, application of the DC transmission, then description of the DC transmission, configurations, then after that, planning for the HVDC transmission, and introduction to the devices, some semiconductor devices, that is thyristor valve. Thyristor valve is simply SCR. Thyristor valve is SCR, right? And then we will also discuss some valve test, and recent trends in that semiconductor devices, right? Now in part 2, we are having analysis of the DC converter, right? Analysis of the HVDC converter. Converter, again I am saying, this is a rectifier as well as inverter. Whenever I am talking about rectifier, it is a converter. Whenever I am saying the inverter, it is also a converter, right? So analysis of that rectifier and inverter, that will be considered under part 2. Under this, we will study pulse number. Then after that, choice of the converter configuration, Grade's bridge circuit, analysis of the Grade's bridge circuit, converter bridge characteristics, then characteristics of a 12 pulse converter station, right? In this chapter, in this part, we will study Grade's bridge with and without overlap. With and without overlap. We will study Grade's bridge. Grade's bridge is some special type of
सर वॉइस में डिस्टॉर्शन आ रही है.
now. Now, in part 2, we will see analysis of the Grade's bridge with the number of pulses, different number of pulses, whether we will apply 6 pulse or we will apply 12 pulse, right? So depending upon the number of pulse, there are different types of the behavior of the Grade's bridge. Then after that, In addition to that, we will also see the behavior of the grade switch under that overlapping condition and without overlapping condition, right? In part 3, we will see how to control that HVDC system with the help of semiconductor devices, right? HVDC system control. In HVDC system control, we will see how to control DC transmission line with the help of different semiconductor devices. That means by changing, generally we are using thyristor or SCR. So by changing the firing angle, we will be able to control any HVDC system, right? Then in part 4, we will see different types of the fault in converter in DC line, right? And this type of the protection is utilized for various fault. Then after that, smoothing reactor. Smoothing reactor is a device which will just remove the ripples, right? It will just remove the ripples. Otherwise, it will be a pulsating, but if connect smoothing reactor, then that pulsating DC will be converted into pure DC, right? Then we will see this working of the DC breaker, right? What is DC breaker? What is its construction? Then after that, in the same part, that means in part 4, we will see component model for analysis of AC/DC system, right? That means we will just study what is modeling, and then after studying the modeling, we will apply it on DC network as well as on AC network, right? And make the models for the DC network as well as for the AC network. Now come to the part 4. This next slide. Application. What are the applications of the HVDC transmission? Right? To connect remote station, for interconnecting grids, connecting offshore wind. Power from the wind may be taken with the help of this HVDC transmission line. DC link may be connected with the AC grid with the help of HVDC transmission line. And then HVDC transmission line may be also utilized for connecting remote loads. That means either we are having generating station at the faraway places or we are having load at the faraway places. For both of the condition, we are utilizing HVDC transmission line, right? Now just yes. Now after application, next is types of the transmission system. Different types of the transmission system are automatic transmission, manual transmission, automated manual transmission, continuously variable transmission. That means AT, MT, AM, and CVT. In automatic transmission, we are not able to control or disturb the supply unless and until some fault will occur. In case of the manual, we will be able to control it. Automated manual means there is a combination of the both. Some part will be automated and some will be manual. And continuously variable means there will be variation in the voltage or other parameter of the line. Then, if we will compare this AC and DC transmission, this will be on the basis of three different parameters. One is economic of the power transmission, second is technical performance, and third is reliability. If we will see economic of the power transmission, DC transmission line are more economic in case of large distance line going, right? In case of large distance line going, if we are talking about small distance or medium distance line, then AC is preferably more economic. If we are talking about the technical performance, in case of the technical performance, losses are more in case of DC line. Corona loss or skin effect is there in case of the DC line, right? So technically, again, this AC transmission line is having less losses for the medium or small distance line, right? Then after that, reliability. One thing more in case of the technical, AC may be step up or step down with the help of transformer. Transformer is based upon the principle of electromagnetic induction. That means Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, right? What is Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction? Whenever there is rate of change of flux and EMF is induced across the coil. Faraday's second law, amount of the EMF induced is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux, right? In case of DC, d phi by dt or rate of change of flux is 0 because flux is constant. So that means DC cannot be pure DC. This cannot be step up or step down, right? So that means we will be only able to convert AC into DC or DC into AC, but not be able to step up or step down DC. Although, yes, Ishan.
सर पूछना था कि जो चॉपर होते हैं वो भी तो
Chopper may be, although this chopper may be used for step up and step down of the DC voltage, but again there is a limitation, because whenever I am talking about this transmission line, its voltage is in term of kilovolt or current is in term of kiloampere, right? This heavy capacity semiconductor devices are not available yet, although work is going on to find more suitable material to manufacture such semiconductor devices which may be applied for power transmission, right? For the power transmission, we need power semiconductor devices. We need power semiconductor devices, and power semiconductor devices are manufactured with the help of special type of the semiconductor material. Because whenever I am talking about DC or semiconductor devices, I will be only limited up to 6 volt or up to 12 volt. Semiconductor devices are available to control up to 12 volt or maximum up to 24 volt. But again, that 24 volt components are costly. And here we are dealing with voltage in kilovolt or current in kiloampere. So this is the limitation of the semiconductor device. That's why we are saying that DC cannot be step up or step down. Here I am talking about that large voltage DC, not for 6 volt or 12 volt or 24 volt. I am talking about kilovolt or kiloampere. This power rating semiconductor devices are not available yet. That's although research is going on, maybe in future these devices are available and we will be able to step up or step down that DC at the rating of kilovolt. Fine. Now come to the part reliability. Reliability means what is the no exact definition of the reliability is available. Reliability means, let us suppose I am having one device. I'm just going to turn it on today. And after that, I didn't know when I am just going to turn this device on. Right? If in any case, let us suppose I'm just going to turn the device on after 2 years, and maybe that device will on or maybe that device will not on. So chances of device to get turned on, that is known as reliability, or in other words, circuit components will remain on condition for a long time period without any disruption. That is known as reliability of the circuit or reliability of the device. And we are very much aware that DC components are less reliable in comparison with the AC component. Right? So that means AC transmission lines are more reliable in comparison with DC transmission line. Then next is this disadvantages of the DC transmission line. In case of the DC transmission line, due to commutation problem, electrical power cannot be produced at high DC voltage. Right? This part you had already studied it in, I think, this third ASM. Right? Then in high voltage DC transmission, we cannot step up the level of the DC voltage. Already we had discussed. There is a limitation of the DC switches and circuit breaker. Yes, because sometime I think you had studied that power system protection. So in case of the power system protection, arc will extinguish in the that circuit breaker whenever that in some of the cases whenever that natural zero will come. We will just extinguish the arc whenever that natural zero will come in case of AC. But in case of DC, no natural zero is there. So in case of the DC, circuit breakers are available at very less choices. Although they are available, but again, there are certain limitations that we are not able to use that for protection in general because it is too much costly. Then next is advantages of the DC transmission line. Obviously, we know that XL is equal to 2 pi FL, right? So in case of the DC frequency is 0, so there is no inductance and surges in the DC transmission line. There is no skin effect, right? So DC system has a less potential stress over AC system for the same voltage level. This has proved practically if we are having two DC transmission conductor just running in parallel, stress between that two conductor, if it is DC, that will be more. Stress in case of the DC, that will be less in comparison with AC. And because stress between the conductors is less, that's why DC line require less insulation, right? Then last is, these are various HVDC transmission line which are existing in India. Rihand Dadri, Balia Bhiwadi, Chandrapur Page, Talkal Kolar, and Munda Mohindgarh. These are some of the transmission line which are existing in India, although in other part of the world, some DC transmission, HVDC transmission lines are also present, right? So this is the end of the lecture.